Welcome to ROI Blueprint Mexico Edition. Today's episode is brought to you by Kodak Capital. We have a very amazing guest with us today, Dinah Redhouse, a visionary entrepreneur, tech innovator, and founder whose work is redefining how businesses harness AI to lead their industries. So, Dinah, before we get into this, I would love for you to let our guests know a little bit more about yourself before we get to the nitty-gritty.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me, first of all. I love being here and just the opportunity to talk about how AI is revolutionizing the real estate game, the hospitality industry, and really every industry in the world. About myself, I've been in tech for over 10 years. I started kind of just dabbling into the mobile application space when they became kind of the newer thing, and I was in college. And I just really loved the way aesthetics met technology and automation, but at the time things like sales funnels and N8N didn't really exist. So I found a way to kind of pair up a way to scale businesses massively using the App Store.
Right.
And so my very first app that I launched, it was like a photo editing app, and it actually made like top 10 in like a few different countries around the world. And so from there, after I made ROI, no pun intended, in the first month, I was addicted. And I was like, this is insane. And then seeing like, you know, like teenage kids that were literally like making millions a month from mobile applications. Not only is it about the money, but it's just about the ability for impact.
Yes.
I always call technology the great collateralizer. So it can literally give you the power to be just as effective as 100 businesses or 100 people with just one line of code, right? It's the great equalizer, and it can do so much impact for everybody. It could help liberate a country if you use the right technology. And if you look at how it's affected even mobile applications from a cultural standpoint, we'll never date the same, we'll never transport the same, and we'll never travel the same. So if you think about the biggest industries in the world, I mean, really, technology is deeply infused in everything. And so being into software development, I realized how much of an impact I could have on the world through multiple missions I had, including one that was for human abductions and human trafficking. That would basically geofence the area of a missing child or adult, and it would be able to send out mass messages using geofencing to send text messages out to people. And that was an app I did collaboratively with a brand. And it's an amazing thing that we can do to be able to save people's lives potentially through technology. And I think on another level, when we're now seeing this with AI. Now AI is doing things like helping discover diseases we didn't know before and just different things. So I love being able to stay forward and moving and kind of shifting into this new phase and evolution of technology, because quite honestly, I don't really have a business anymore with the fact that software development will now be an antiquated thing. I mean, we have AI that's coding in its own language, and they're saying that pretty soon, you know, we have Lovable, we have, you know, all these different Cursor, all these sites now that are able to basically code the same way my business was. And so it's almost like, you know, if you, am I saying is evolve or die?
Yes.
And that's really kind of something that's really drastic to say, but it's not necessarily die like you're going to die, but really businesses will start to die if they do not evolve. And that's something I stand behind, because I come from the city of Rochester, New York, where it doesn't get any more detrimental for evolution.
Right.
I always tell the story of Kodak. Kodak was not willing to move into digital. They thought analog would live forever. And unfortunately, what happened was they died, and the whole city died along with it. Everybody's family that were employed, they didn't scale to the next step in evolution of technology, and that's what happened. So I'm always about being to the next step and thinking outside the box and
evolving.
Exactly. Yeah.
So just that alone, wow, that's amazing. So it seems like you have been able to utilize technology across various industries, right? And you kept evolving and growing with it. So with all of that and all the different industries that you've been in, what led you to where you are now and what you're doing now and how you're taking things to this level?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, what I noticed was, as a business builder and someone in technology, I noticed there was a lot of things, like Steve Jobs said, that we just accept as being a reality.
Right.
And I thought that, you know, seeing these things firsthand, like paying for ads and not seeing the results we want to see, trying to market your business and having like a funnel system that sometimes works, sometimes doesn't, and there being a lot of mystery. Like they say, good data in, good data out.
Yep.
But what happens to the data that you can't see or track? What happens to the data that you're not getting provided by native platforms like Meta? So when you look at these things that we just accept as a reality, like lead quality or just the idea of how businesses flow, right? I think there's a lot of things that we're doing that we accept as reality that are not human tasks. You know, we call people real estate agents.
Right.
And if you think about an AI agent, I'm not saying that real estate agents are like agents, but there's a lot of agent work being done.
Yes.
60 to 70% of a realtor's like main core of what they do on a daily basis is just scheduling appointments, scheduling viewings, doing the kind of like daily menial work that shouldn't really be handled by a human.
Yes.
And I think one of the things that stop people the most is they're like, well, don't you take away from that human aspect of things, right? And I think that's the apprehension most of us have.
Yep.
There's actually a word for it, and I'm going to botch it if I try to say it, but it's like anthropomorphism, right?
Okay.
And it's people's kind of disregard to treat AI as a human. And when you think about where we're going in this new phase, where we wouldn't even talk to AI like it was a friend or a therapist, but in the last few months, we've seen it be adopted in this way. And now that we see people moving in this direction, it opens up a world full of doors and opportunities as to what we can now do.
Absolutely.
Because businesses can now utilize it as an assistant. And so the things I've seen the most is just being able to really buy back your time.
Yes.
To focus on the things that are important, to be able to scale a business and compete with the biggest companies with just a couple AI agents. I'm talking companies with hundreds of associates.
Yep.
So it's just the ability, again, going back to that, like the ability to kind of have that infinite power with technology, the great equalizer. It now gives like the normal company that's just maybe a 2 or 3 man shop, the ability to be armed and, you know, amplified to compete with a huge corporation.
Absolutely. So essentially, how AI has evolved is basically allowing for the mom and pops, if you will, and the small businesses who are trying to just grow an opportunity to really leave a mark.
Absolutely. And I love the underdog story so much.
Yes, it's something of, and again, you're from Rochester, New York, so it's like one of those things like we're always going to root for the underdog.
Exactly.
Yes. And it's you know, a feel-good story at that.
Yeah.
And it's a great way to utilize a tool and be more efficient.
Yeah. Well, in that light, I actually was watching something the other day about some real estate agents that are able-bodied and some that are not able to walk or show listing physically. And it made me so excited to see that people are now embracing virtual AI tours, virtual tours, and giving power to people that, you know, couldn't take advantage of this new technology that gave them the competitive edge. So say, for example, maybe they can't afford to have an assistant. Maybe they can't walk and show an actual tour. AI is now opening up so many doors for people to explore these opportunities and compete with people that do have these things, do have the budget to hire assistants. Well, what if you could have an assistant that works 24/7, that doesn't slow quit, that doesn't take vacations, and you don't need to retrain every 30 days when they churn? And this is what AI is now doing. It's giving people the ability to scale massively at such a low cost that if you keep doing ROI on that and you just keep building, you don't need to rely on the unpredictability of humans. They say AI, well, that's kind of scary. I don't know. I've hired a lot of people and it's almost more scary to rely on humans than it is AI.
So in one of my previous lifetime, I was actually a realtor. And one of the things that was just the most difficult part, like what you were saying earlier, the biggest pain point is taking that time and doing the cold calls and going through all that and scheduling and just, it's tedious, right? So in your opinion, in what way has AI already transformed the real estate landscape and just, you know, how people can adopt it?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I don't even know where to begin, but I have to say that I think the biggest part of it is taking over just the mundane tasks of having the scheduling and answering the questions and pulling up the comps and being able to look at the references of the different properties that are available and how quickly things moved, especially if you have a lot of leads coming in, your flow, right? Most people are running ads with WhatsApp, and they're trying to basically navigate these conversations while showing listings, while making phone calls, while getting paperwork done. It's like literally you're up against the wall and you're in a race against time, and you can only be in one place at one time.
Exactly.
Or at least that's what used to be the case.
Right.
So now, instead of having to do things all yourself, instead of hiring VAs, instead of having to train people, we can use tools like WhatSnap, which is able to basically deploy agents, and you tell them, this is not generative AI. Generative is call and respond, right? It's, I have a prompt, let me hit enter, create this copy for me. No, this is AI agents. With AI agents, they're able to deploy other agents to do tasks for you. So say you have, your agent is tasked to schedule an appointment with a big investor. And guess what? It's going to take like maybe 2 hours of conversing to get them booked. But you don't have 2 hours. So you deploy your AI agent, you tell it what you are looking to do, you give it a task, and it will figure out the rest for you. And it may happen in a day, it could happen in 2 hours, it could happen in 3 weeks. But it will accomplish this task for you if you tell it how long you have and what you want it to accomplish. It's called orchestrative AI. So if you think about an orchestra, it directs the whole orchestra, right? And that's the beauty of agentic AI. It will book appointments 24/7. And by happenstance, we actually came across this amazing new thing that it can do, which was, like we're obviously coming across new discoveries with AI, but with our tool specifically, we found out it can optimize your AI pixel. Your meta pixel. So what it's going to do is when you're running your ads and you get all those junk leads all the time and you're like, this is so annoying. I don't know why I get these people that aren't qualified. Well, instead, you can have the AI agent qualify those leads for you. Then when it's ready to say, this is your perfect ICP, it will then deploy either the scheduling link or whatever link you wanted to with the pixel in it, almost like your security guard, right? Saying, now this is the perfect lead, Meta, give us more of these leads. We love this lead. And literally your ROAS will go up. We've seen 30-40% increase in ROAS, CPA, CPL, CPC, all these things go down in cost. Your cost per million goes down, everything optimized with just AI. You don't have to spend any more. You're going to get 10 times better results every single day with your ads.
Oh, that is so amazing. So as you're saying all these things, like in my mind, all I'm picturing is like this beautiful web of agents, AI agents that you just deployed, and they're going out there, they're doing all these tools, they're grabbing this info, they're helping you with your comps and all these different things. And all this is done through WhatSnap.
Yeah, exactly. And because we now have new technology that's even transcending through agentic AI called A2A, agent to agent, or the very concept that's through Google, but there's many other agent to agent platforms. But now that we have this, we can do things like plug into APIs and connect to other APIs. So now it's literally able to tap into a network of opportunities where now it's just not tapping into the internet, but it's tapping into specific APIs that you want to plug into. So just what you said, imagine with the fact that in the past we would use humans to create comps, right? And they would use 4 to 5 references locally, and it was pretty inefficient, honestly. Now with AI, within a click of a button, you can now have over 10,000 data points collected, and it's 99.5% accurate, which is actually more accurate than a human to use AI for comps. And think about it. You say, hey, AI agent Elizabeth, go ahead and give me comps for these 5 properties because I have 5 clients that are interested. Within 5 seconds, it returns them back to you, or they send them directly out to the client for you. You don't even need to focus on it. You can focus on the things that are important to you, like being present in the list, in the showing and the viewing, being present in the moment of calling somebody and asking about how they enjoyed your process. You can actually be more human because you're able to spend time on the things that require human activity, not menial work, right? So you can literally offload 60 to 70% of your day-to-day work to your agent, who's going to do way better of a thorough job because it can search through hundreds of listings and information and key data points that no human could possibly know, So it's like superpowers for any real estate agent.
Oh man, and see, when real estate agents and realtors hear that, they're like, "Oh, I'm a super realtor," right? Like that's the goal.
Yeah, it comes with a free cloak because
exactly. And you got the emblem on your chest and everything.
Yeah.
So we kind of touch on WhatSnap, and this is something a tool that you guys you have developed and everything like that. So let's give the audience a little information on what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. So WhatSnap is an amazing tool that just went to market. We've had some investors chattering about this because they love the idea of emotionally intelligent AI. So we call it EQ AI because that's really what makes it feel human. That's why it passed the Turing test, is because it feels human, it's undetectable to humans, and our AI is so advanced that we have people building connection. And really, when you think about sales at its baseline, it's know,
connection,
like, and trust, right? So
Yes.
when you get to a client, when you find out what they're looking for, the fact that they want to have kids in a couple years, and so they want a place that's safe or has a good community for school, you want to have an agent that's able to build connection and find out what's really in your client's heart.
Yes.
And we don't think that AI can do it because we're still thinking robotic. We're thinking when we go to a website and we talk to a bot and we talk to an FAQ section, we're like, damn it, just bring me to a human.
Right.
And unfortunately, there's a stigma that is no longer the case. And my main goal and objective is to help people understand where we really are with technology and AI. We're no longer there. We're so much more advanced than that. I have AI agents that are talking about my coaching and my personal dating and relationship book. And there's literally people that will say, I don't want to be vulnerable again because I'm scared. And they will thank me and say, God bless you for helping me. And it's just my AI agent. So imagine I'm helping people all over the world and it's having conversations on WhatsApp and it's helping millions of people over time. And I'm changing lives, and I'm not even there.
Right.
But these people are getting such insight, such value through this connection of this human element that AI is able to procure.
Right.
So when you're talking about AI agents and WhatSnap, it's able to do something that obviously people just don't have the human capacity for. It could do things like obviously procure that relationship over time, answer those questions that most people have and are redundant for every real estate agent, like answering those same things over and over again. But also it does something really awesome. A lot of people are usually afraid to use AI because it does something called hallucinate, right? And I want to make sure that people understand with our WhatSnap model, we actually did something amazing. And we created something called the hands up technique.
Okay.
What that means is if the agent doesn't have the data, doesn't have the right information, it will actually raise its hand and talk to your group of humans or to you or whoever you assign it to and say, hey, tap in, like you're an intern, ask me for the information if you don't have it. Don't make it up, right? Ask me for the information. And that way we keep an authentic, valid database of information that it's never going to just give random information out. And that's one of the apprehensions of most people is like, if it hallucinates, it's not so good, right?
Right.
One other thing is we also launched what's called the data validator.
Okay.
And so with that, a lot of real estate agents that have very proprietary information or very delicate pricing models, what it'll do is before it launches any information, it'll have an agent that it assigns to validate what it's saying is actually accurate.
Okay.
So it's really amazing technology because it does the amazing job at always giving correct and valid data so that your clients are always making sure that you're not put in a vulnerable position and that it's never hallucinating for our clients.
See, I love that because I was just going to ask you about that. Like, how do we keep the autonomy and the security factor of everything? Because sometimes when we're working, especially in real estate, there's a lot of sensitive information that's being exchanged there. And if we're utilizing AI, like how can we ensure that this data stays safe and secure?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, that's everyone's concern.
Right.
And so when you think about models that we're using like OpenAI, people are using this every day, and we're also being vulnerable with our phones being tracked and all these other things. Really, we're in a world where there is a limited capacity to privacy, right? And there's a lot of people that are fighting for this being more private information. One of the things that helps us is we're on a very safe environment. So we're actually directly on Go High Level, which is an amazing CRM system. I would say it's the best system, I think, for business owners these days, unless it's enterprise level, which a lot of people maybe go to HubSpot and things like that. But for the everyday real estate agent and kind of like big agency, anywhere under $1 billion, honestly, I think Go High Level is one of the best platforms in terms of integration with AI, automations, things that you can never imagine you could do in a CRM system. Literally, the CEO is genius in what he created, and it's really amazing. And so, being that it's in a safe environment, there's a lot of doctors that use Go High Level, and there's HIPAA laws, all these things. The framework of Go High Level is overall protected. So that's the good thing, is that it's safe kept within a platform that's already set to be safe.
Got it.
Yeah.
So that's amazing right there.
Yeah.
And then, so there's WhatSnap. which is a tool that, I'm excited to tap into, because I'm sure, again, any real estate agent really. Yeah. But what other tools do you think that are out there that could be beneficial, that's, AI based, that real estate agents can do, especially in this industry?
Well, what I see the most of is the fact that, number one, realtors are usually like scrambling for more time.
Yes.
But one of the things that they need to do is invest time into social media content. And so I always have seen this, especially as me as a business owner, like just being able to have the time to sit down and shoot content, which makes such a big difference in your results. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Like, how hard was this today?
Right.
And so it's not an easy feat to have not only peace of mind, but not be disturbed to shoot content, which is so important, especially with a business that moves as fast as real estate. It's like you need to create content now.
Yes.
And so one of the things that I think is super awesome is the fact that we can now do like tons of short form content by just one long form in an instant. I can tell you personally, my social media like strategy and calendar went from taking like weeks and months to like an hour a month. And that is because I shoot long form content. I use something like Opus AI, and what it does is it literally will cut like 100 different clips up. It'll rank them by virality. So it'll even show you this one will go viral. Post this one, do this one. It'll give it a score. And you can literally create tons of short form content, fill up your content calendar, and boom, you're able to just literally have that presence on social media that you couldn't before.
You're buying back your time.
You're buying back your time,
yes,
absolutely.
Okay, so content creation.
Yeah.
What other tools that we can work on right now?
There's definitely the tool that you can use for like comps. So I don't know the exact website, but I know that there's a lot of different comp AI tools out there that help with more validity. It has more data points, etc. And then also just using AI for your ads. Like being able to have that run directly in tandem with your AI is huge, because being able to optimize your ad spend over time just helps increase your brand, increase your momentum, and overall it takes away from that kind of old philosophy of like sales funnels where you felt like, okay, well, where are my leads going? I see that I had like 30 clicks a day or 30 clicks an hour or 300, and I only had like 5 leads or 1 lead or whatever. And it's because I call it a leaky funnel. So this leaky funnel is not ideal. And in my opinion, it's an old school way of doing things. If you think about it, what did we do before sales funnels? I don't remember.
I don't remember either, but you're right. Like with sales funnel, it can be, if you're new to it, it can be so confusing. And like the ability to adapt and build a good funnle is so hard.
Yes, exactly. And you don't know, like, because you're just like, you're trying to guess at, oh, well, maybe they didn't like this text here. Maybe they didn't like this.
The A/B testing.
A/B testing, which I still love testing. I think it's super important. But when you talk about the term DTC, which is direct to conversation, now we're talking about a different ballgame. Because you can find out that they stopped answering when you talked about the price. They stopped answering when you said the location. They stopped answering here. So now you have more data, and it's more organic and it's more conversational, which real estate is a personal game, but it doesn't need to be done by a person.
Okay, so we've definitely hit on a lot today, especially when it comes to AI and technology, but I want to kind of focus on a little bit more on the real estate side, right? And like for the next 12 to 24 months, what shifts in AI do you anticipate, can you foresee that you think like realtors and real estate agents should really be looking out for and zoning in on?
Yeah, so absolutely. I think now that we're kind of leaning more on this virtual experience and being more kind of transcending the limitations of international capabilities and just language barriers, we're going to see where AI is now able to basically open up the door for international markets. Because right now we're seeing things like YouTube changing its algorithm so that it instantly transfers and translates every single video in every language. But unfortunately, we don't speak every language, but our AI agent can. Right? And so now we're able to have conversations. Maybe we even deploy agents and bots in the future that are able to go out and do virtual tours, because we're doing it already.
Right.
There's a 300% increase in AI agent tours. Right? And so now that we're seeing people embrace this, it's just like the Carvana method, where we saw a lot of the like traditional sales experience where you had to be there and you had someone on the lot answering questions. But then Carvana came across and said, let's put our cars in a vending machine and let's make people choose what they want, come to the spot, scan their code and get their car. We don't need to overcomplicate it. Time is money, right?
Right.
And so when we talk about what AI is able to accomplish, we can talk about now spending time on things that are more important for real estate agents. We're going to see things like more agent to agent, A2A, which is going to be where more of the agents are deploying more of that work amongst each other. maybe even building out marketing agencies for businesses to run using things like WhatSnap. So WhatSnap is like a version of what the future holds because it's able to optimize their sales, create lead generation, buy back their time, act as their own assistant. I mean, imagine being in the car and telling WhatSnap, hey, by the way, I just spoke to 5 people at this event. They're interested in buying a car in Upper East Side, whatever, Manhattan, and go ahead and send them comps that they might be interested in 5 properties. And oh, since he's interested in selling his property, go ahead and find him a new house that he might want to buy. And it can do all of that for you. It can act as your best friend. And so as we embrace AI in the next year, we're going to see everything change because Moore's Law is completely being defeated in terms of like anything we thought trajectory was going to be. So we can only imagine that it's going to continue on this vertical line instead of it being more of a like a growth line, a steady curve. It's just an exponential growth rate. And so as we see this happen, we're going to see more integration with AI, more dependency on AI, and I think we'll see more of that ROI in the next like year. Whereas right now, we're not seeing so much of the ROI right now. But in the next year, as we see ourselves building businesses using AI, making it our AI assistants and doing the work of 10 people or 100 people. I was using my AI cold caller at one point, which was a connection and go high level. And basically, I programmed it to outreach to 800 people a day, and then 1,600, and then 3,000 people a day. But if you had a call center or you had a marketing firm and you were helping real estate agents, you would need to hire like 12 people to do that. And they're not going to be happy. So they're not going to be like ecstatic when they're calling you either, right? They're going to be like, hey, but an agent will give this best delivery every time. They're not going to get let down when they get rejected every time. Why are we having humans do this kind of work? It doesn't make sense, right?
It's almost dehumanizing.
It is dehumanizing. It's actually like, and it's demoralizing too. And it doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help scale like our time. And so I think as we see ourselves have more time for things, we're going to see, I think, a shift in value, a shift in what's important to the end user, kind of the expectation of being AI driven. Just like before when people were scoffing at websites like, oh, websites are just used by the big leagues and like Gucci and whatever. Now, if you don't have a website, you're not looked at as a professional. The same exact thing with AI. If you don't have an AI assistant or if you're not using AI, you're just not going to be looked at as like a forward-moving company. And, and so as we see this, there's things like WhatsApp that will change also. So it'll be more like a marketplace in the next year. A lot of people don't know this, but Mark Zuckerberg has a lot of up his sleeve in terms of transforming the WhatsApp app. He bought it for $17 billion. Why wouldn't he, right? He's just been waiting for the right time to transform it into like the next Google Maps where businesses will be listed. And instead of trying to chase them down, you can message them directly and connect agents to it and have them be able to talk real time. Oh, wow. So it's just going to create more efficiency. We're going to see a world where things move faster, but slower at the same time. Slower where you want it to be slower and faster where you... Exactly. Yes. It's, people think that AI is giving up control, but really it's getting back control, Oh,
I love that. So, you open it up really because you're talking about international, like you're opening up the whole world to all of this. So for the entrepreneurs who are a little bit behind the game, right, and they haven't really adopted AI yet, what do you have to say to them? And like, how can they get not only into the race, but like try to catch up to the curve now?
The best thing people can do, and I kind of treat this as an analogy, and that is a huge tsunami is coming. And Alex, if I told you this huge tsunami was coming and I brought you to the top of this mountain, I said, do you see this wave coming? You can either be down there or you could be up there. I think we know where we want to be. We want to be surfing that wave. The best thing a business can do right now is to track their day. Just track your day. Say, I just spent 5 hours talking to 50 people, setting up an appointment, and 3 of them canceled, and I didn't follow up with 50 of them, and half of them are asking questions that I don't know the answer to because I have to look at my spreadsheets and da-da-da-da. Track your day, see where your time is going, and then go from there. Because you're going to find out that most of the work you can do, you plug in WhatSnap into your system, you clone yourself, you plug your website in, it instantly will grab all your data, you throw in all your properties, listings, everything. You tell it what personality you want it to have. Maybe you want it to be Alex, which is like warm, inviting, honest, all these things. And you just tell it, be this way, and boom. And guess what? If you see like it's doing something you don't like, you don't need to be an AI genius. You simply go to our prompt refinement tool and you say, hey, don't say that again, or use less emojis, or be more straight to the point, or the CEO is really this person, not who you thought. And it literally will update real time. So it's just real time. It's as much as sending a text message to your AI agent. It's literally like texting your agent and training it. That's how simple it is. If you are literally like the most unskilled technical person, you will have so much success because you do not need to be technologically inclined.
So it's easy to adopt.
So easy.
And all you have to do is just try and do.
Yeah. I mean, literally to build your own agent on our platform, you copy your website, and if you can copy it and you can paste it, you can build an agent.
Wow.
Literally that easy.
So that simple.
Yeah.
So for those who are behind right now, they have the opportunity to catch up. But maybe not if they don't do it now. Like maybe.
Yeah, we talked about the snowball, right?
Yeah,
like if you don't do it now, it's first mover's advantage. Just like anything else, like you don't want to have to catch up in the AI race because it is moving fast.
Right.
It's faster than we can even think. They just literally, I don't know if you knew this, but they just literally had like the first quantum computer beat out the supercomputer and do an equation that would have took 10 septillion years to do in 5 minutes. 10 septillion years, it's beyond our existence.
Right.
So, I mean, imagine the capacity of how fast things are moving. So you have to get on it now.
Yeah.
Look and see where you're using time inefficiently. Track your time, and then use an easy tool that's, very user-friendly, like WhatSnap, Opus. All these things are very simple to use, and at least get that initial knowledge of how to prompt. But the biggest thing, Alex, is to not be confident, but to have courage. Because having confidence is something that you can say, okay, I've done this before, I know I can do this. But courage in this world of AI is saying, I know that I have to do this. And so as business owners, we have to have courage right now.
Yeah.
We have to have courage to transcend and move into the next step. And I know that's scary because we've all seen Terminator.
Yes, absolutely. I don't want
to. Yeah, hasta la vista, baby. No, but it's really important for us to understand that just like with any other move forward, people actually say right now that AI is bigger than any invention in human history, bigger than the fire, right? Prometheus.
Right.
And it literally will never be the same again. Our lives, the job force, workforce, business, everything will be unlocked. Knowledge will not be safe, gatekept anymore by a few chosen few.
Yeah.
Knowledge, legal, all these things will now be open for everybody. AI is abundance.
Yes.
And so when a real estate agent wants to get time back to their family, have a balance, not be at the computer all day and night, AI agents will give them their life back.
See, and that's all we want,
Yeah.
really, is
Yeah.
the ability to do the things that matter. Like
Yeah.
you said, like buying back our time, spending it with our loved ones, doing the things that means more when it comes to the human connection.
Exactly.
So AI is giving us the opportunity to do that.
It is.
Oh, God. Dinah, honestly, this has just been such an amazing time to have you here with us. Like, we've had such a great conversation. We've had some laughs and everything, so it's great. And I just want to say thank you so much for taking your time. And I want to say thank you also to AI for giving you the time to be able to be here with us.
Yes.
So anything you want to add as we wrap up? And, if people are interested in WhatSnap, how do they get in touch with you guys? So let's just feel free to let us know.
Well, first of all, WhatSnap is such an exciting tool, and I'm hoping to share it with the world. It's such an opportunity of transformation. And the fact that we're growing so quickly, right now we're on WhatsApp, but soon we'll be on SMS, we'll be everywhere, and we'll be ubiquitous to any platform. And so we're moving and transcending everywhere, but right now we love what WhatsApp is doing, and we know that internationally it's the most used messaging platform in the world. There's 2 billion users versus SMS, which is just 1.6.
Right.
So we know that that's where the future is. And so we're loving the growth that we've been seeing. We love the buzz we're getting in investor world because they're seeing that we have this emotionally intelligent AI, and we're just really growing really quickly and helping people really buy back their time and having an impact. So WhatSnap is whatsnap.ai. It's online, it's on every social media channel. And I just say, go to YouTube and check it out because I give a lot of information on just AI in general, how to prompt, how to find out how to use it, other AI tools like for every industry. So just, do your due diligence, do YouTube Academy and just dive in and have courage. And that's the most important thing.
Thank you. Okay. Now, for those who just want to reach out to you to connect with you and learn more from you, how can they reach you?
Yep. So they can go to WhatSnap and they can literally check directly on the page, and they can hit the WhatsApp button and chat with me directly.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Again, thank you so much, Dinah. It's
Thank
been a
you.
pleasure, and I can't wait to sit down with you again in the future and see how
Yes.
everything's evolved.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Can't wait.
All right.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you. To our viewers, if you've enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like
And comment
and subscribe. And we are excited to have you back for the next episode, so we'll see you soon.